What's happening, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Adam and this is Vancity Audi. We are back at the one and only Titanium Strip Mission Raceway Park for a Titanium Auto Group private track rental. The first track rental I've been invited to this year, and I'm freaking pumped. I'm gonna take full advantage of it too because we have a full day here. The conditions are much better than they were last time. It's much cooler. The density altitude is much lower, and I'll go through that with you when I'm in the car prepping to run. So what I'm gonna do today is 3 different styles of racing. I'm gonna let the TCU do what it's meant to do, i.e. spent a lot of time calibrating their TCU file like I've been racing all year. Sport mode, traction control off, dynamic mode, and let it shift on its own and do its thing. That's where I've been racing all year, and it's worked really well. Now what I've noticed is at the very end of the run, my car shifts to the next gear, but it's shifting short because it's staying in the power band. That's what IE has done. They've tuned their shift points according to the power band. You guys have seen that on my dyno videos where it starts falling off higher in the revs. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shift it over to manual. I think that's gonna be the top of 4th or the top of 5th before I cross the finish line. And I'm gonna rev out that final gear. So sport mode all the way to the final gear, and then manual. That's gonna be the second time, or the second way I go down the track. And then the final way I'm gonna go down the track is manual mode. Rev out every single gear to 6,500 and see what kind of performance I can get out of the car. From what I understand, it's gonna be slower because of the fact that I'm falling out of the power band way up high. These turbos are a bit small on these 3-liter turbocharged V6s, and they get a ton of torque down low and a lot of horsepower. I wanna say at like 5,600 RPM, and then it starts falling off, and that's why we get those earlier shift points. So today, 3 different styles of racing. Sport shifting over to manual, and then manual all the way through. I'll try to do 2 runs of each and see which one comes out on top. Now to go over the bolt-on parts that I've used. So these are the parts I'll be using in my B9 S4 today. We're starting out with the CTS charge pipe, then we move over to the IE turbo inlet, then we have the IE air intake. Newly installed, first time down the track, are the IE mid pipes, tucked way down there. Still stock down pipe, still stock turbo. Then in front of the car, we have IE's intercooler. For wheels and tires, I'm running Hoosier DR2s in the front and in the rear, as well as RPF 1s, and I'm using B9 A4 downgraded brakes. Now the final piece of hardware that I'm using today is the JXB Performance drive shaft carrier. This is the first time I've been down the drag strip with this upgrade. I tested it on the back roads of Mexico, and it felt like there was less drivetrain slop. Felt like there were a bit better shifts. So with all of those parts together, we're going to see how well we can do on track. All right, here we go. First run of the day using the standard shift points, putting the car into sport, letting it shift on its own like I've been doing all year. It is 60 degrees outside and a wonderful 200 DA. We'll see how well my tires grip. They gripped extremely well last time out because it was warm. It's cooler now. So as much as I'm gonna make more power on the back half of the track, I may suffer from a worse 60 foot. I spun like crazy. First to second shift sucked. That wasn't good at all. Warming up those tires. That was bad. Very slow, tons of spin. Now because we have the track to ourselves, my tires are warmer, I'm gonna hot lap it. I'm gonna do it again. We'll see if my performance suffers because I'm hot lapping and the engine's really hot, or if it does better because I might be able to launch more effectively with the tires already being warm. So I went and picked up my slips, both 11.3s. One was an 11.30 at 121.88. That's the highest trap speed I've ever achieved. And my other run was an 11.39 at 121.57 miles an hour. I think that's the 3rd fastest trap speed I've ever had. Both 60 foots were poo. 1.64 and a 1.67, spinning like crazy off launch. So that means if I'm able to dial in that launch a bit better in these cooler temps, I can't build as much boost on launch, else I spin, as clearly shown, then I might be able to go quicker. So an 11.30 with a 1.64 60 foot. That means if I can get it down to like a 1.6, that's 4 100ths. That'll put me back to pretty much what I was doing before. So we'll see if this cooler air and a better launch will be able to net me a better result next time out. And this time around, I'm going to be shifting over to manual for the final gear of the run. So for these next couple runs, it is now 62 degrees and the DA has raised to 300. Still no sunshine to warm up my tires or the track. So I have a feeling I might still be spinning, but I'll try my best. This time I'm in sport mode until the last gear, and I'll be rolling it over to manual while I pass the quarter mile. Hopefully my tires can bite a bit better this time out. Oh yeah, that's better. That's much better. Fourth gear. Now I'm rolling over to manual all the way through the quarter mile. Woo-hoo-hoo. That definitely felt like a better run. Draggy shows a 0 to 60 of 3.2 again, so virtually the same. I didn't detect spin though, so that's a good thing. And then my quarter mile shows 11.30 on Draggy, so I'm hoping that's an 11.2 something on the slip. Time to hot lap it and do it again. Bit out of the hole. Come on, baby, pull hard. Over to manual, all the way through the quarter. Cool. Feels pretty damn good. Well, started to go a little quicker. I'm not too sure whether then I can say definitively that's because I held out that final gear or whether it was because I 60-footed a little bit better. First run I did was an 11.281 at 122.16. That's the fastest trap speed I've ever accomplished. My 60-foot was still a 1.63, which is not as good as I've done on previous days. Better than my first two runs. So it's really hard to definitively say whether that trap speed and that ET was accomplished from a slightly better 60-foot or whether holding out that gear worked. The second time I went down the track, I bettered the 60-foot just barely of a 1.628, and I managed an 11.27 at 122.10. Getting pretty damn close to what I managed the day before in way better heat. I feel like just that traction off launch, if I can build as much boost as possible and fire out of the hole without spinning, that's going to be my key to success. As for that shift pattern of putting it over to manual, I can't definitively say whether that was better or not, but I will continue to experiment as the year goes on. I'm just trying to go as quick and as fast as I can. And if I'm able to help you guys go faster as well, hell, I enjoy it even more. So the next two runs, going to get the car to cool down. I am going to leave it in manual mode. I do not expect to go nearly as quick in manual mode. It'll probably be significantly slower, or I could totally be surprised and it runs just as quick or quicker. Time to let it cool, and then we'll get back out on track. First time I will have ever run this car in manual mode down the track. Stretching all those gears, all the way. What a weird feeling. So first run down, and Draggy shows an 11.38. I think that might be the slowest run of the day on Draggy, or tied for the slowest run of the day. And my 0 to 60 was 3.29. So, a bit slower than times before. There was a little bit of squirm off launch, and it just doesn't feel as quick when you're holding the gears all the way to redline. It feels like it falls off a little bit, but we'll try it again, and we'll see if we can do any better. Run number 2 in manual mode. Let's see if we can go any quicker. Damn! Those shifts are crisp! That JXB Performance driveshaft carrier really makes a difference. The shifts are more thumping, more aggressive than they were before. It feels really good. So according to Draghi, that run was better than the first, an 11.35 with a 0 to 60 of 3.23. So a slightly better launch. Maybe because it is falling out of boost, not like completely out of boost, but you don't feel as much oomph at the high end. When you're really pulling high in the revs, it doesn't feel as quick. So that's probably why Integrated Engineering has sorted out their shift pattern to shift earlier in the gears. Now we gotta go get those time slips and see what I really did. So my manual runs all the way through 1st to 5th. How did I do? A 1.63 60 foot, so pretty much what I've been able to do today. I have not had great launches today, whether it's too cold, whether the prep's not as good, I'm not sure. I managed an 11.33 at 121.52. Very similar to my other runs, which surprises me. I thought it was going to be slower, significantly slower, but it wasn't. The other run, a War 60 foot of a 1.64. I managed an 11.36 at 121.47. So yeah, I really thought it was going to be significantly worse than the others, but not quite as far behind. In terms of sensations while racing, you can feel the turbo run out of steam a bit as you're pulling through the higher parts of your RPMs. You don't, like your shift points, when you're shifting on boost, I want to say it feels a bit more aggressive, a bit more like full boost shift, rather than timing is ramped all the way up, but your boost is starting to fall down. I think, just from my gut feel and from what we were able to do today, that I'm going to stick to the sport mode, but row that last gear over to manual and see how it goes. So I'm going to let it cool down a bit more. We'll get 1 or 2 more runs in, see if I can better my results, and I think I'm going to stick with that one that I did in the middle, which was a sport mode, rolling over the final gear to manual, as that's kind of what I anticipated going the fastest today. I guess I should have said that at the beginning of the video. I'm not sure if I did, honestly. I could tell on my logs and everything like that, and watching video playback, that I was short shifting that gear, all the gears are short shifted, and then crossing the finish line. And the thought process is, if you hold it out, you delay that shift and you don't suffer that little bit of hesitation in hopes of going even quicker in the quarter mile. So let it cool, and we'll go out there and we'll try it a couple more times to wrap this up. All right, final run or runs of the day. I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna try what I think was the quickest method though. Sport, rolling over into manual. It's about 400 DA now, and I'm sitting at about 62 degrees Fahrenheit. God, that short shift again. Second gear, it seems unhappy. Holding out 5th, not 4th. 5th gear is what I'm holding out. Oh crap! 11.23 on Draghi. That might be the quickest run I've ever done. 0 to 60 was a 3.13. So my launch probably isn't quite as good still. I can feel a little bit of squirm off launch because the tires aren't as warm. The prep might not be as good, but I think that might be my personal best. So I'm gonna go hot lap this bitch, try it again, and see if I can do even better. Final run of the day. I'm gonna hold down this launch control. Yeah, boogie boy! I know you got it in ya. Manual mode all the way to the finish. Well, I didn't go any quicker, damn it. It was an 11.29 on Draggy. My 0 to 60 is where I lost it. That launch wasn't quite as crisp as the first time. That was 3.23 on that run. 3.1 being my quickest of the day. But now to see what I actually did, not a Draggy result, but an actual time slip. I've officially found my winning combination, guys. Sport mode up until 5th gear, not 4th, 5th gear, and I carry that all the way through the finish line. I just ran my personal best, the quickest I have ever gone in my car. I managed an 11.21 at 122.43 miles per hour, just boogieing. My 60 foot was still poo. It was a 1.62, not nearly as good as the day before of a 1.57 or a 1.60. The track prep has not been re-put down. It's a little chilly out. My tires are cold. Such is life. I managed my personal best, but I know it has more in it. God, do I ever sound like a loser drag racer when I say that. It's got more in it, man. I hate that line. I feel like the car is more capable, but we're gonna have to prove it to you guys. I'm not just gonna claim it, I'm gonna try to prove it to you. Really impressive results. My second run was an 11.26 at 122.16. 60 foot was a 1.62 again. Pretty damn cool. I love doing experiments for you guys like this, to be able to showcase how the tunes work, how the car works, what works better than the other. My 60 foots I struggled with all day, but in the end, I'm confident now, leaving the car in sport, then rolling it over to manual in 5th gear, carrying 5th gear all the way through the finish line is what I will be doing for the rest of the year to try to go as quick as I possibly can in my B9 S4. That's stage 1 E85. What are we gonna do next? What's next, guys? More bolt-ons? Change it up a bit? The goal is to keep going quicker and faster until I finally have a 10-second B9 S4. Stay tuned to the channel, guys, for more. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take care.